And welcome back to part 8 of What If Naruto was adopted by the third Hokage. Last time in Naruto What If, we had the preliminary matches over. We had the standard lot making it to the finals, with the addition of Sakura, who was able to, thanks to actually taking herself a bit more seriously, beat Ino in a fight. So now we have the aftermath. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are all going to Kakashi, just asking, hey, you gonna train? Are you gonna train? No, you're gonna train me. He's gonna train me. And Kakashi finally just says, enough. All right, I've already arranged for you all to get trained. Sasuke, I'm gonna be training you for the foreseeable months. Sasuke says, oh, come on, Naruto. Now, Naruto, I'm everyone's sensei, not just yours. Besides, I believe your grandfather has arranged someone to train you. Really? Oh, the old man arranged someone? Sweet. All right, I guess it all works out. All right, but what about Sakura? And Sakura's just looking. Yeah, what about me? Oh, Sakura. See, I've arranged for you to have arranged for a teacher even better than me. Is that really who? That would be me. And Naruto turns and just, oh, not every was Kakashi Sensei. Now, Naruto, please. I know I can. You and I both know I am more than capable of training anyone, from the honorable grandson to even you. Sakura's in very good hands. Yeah, whatever, you closet pervert. I don't. Now, there's no need for that kind of language. Now, I say that because I imagine that while Ebisu still doesn't like Naruto, he does, knowing that he's basically adopted grandson of the third, he's got to show some respect. And admittedly, Naruto's not the rudest to him either, but he also is aware that Ebisu A is a closet pervert, because I do imagine in his time Naruto would have made the sexy jutsu at some point. But B, the fact is he can still, even though he knows about the fox, and he's probably aware that's why Ebisu doesn't like him that much, there's still animosity between them, so I imagine they still kind of give each other ribbing. It's like, wait, and Sakura hears this, and she's like, closet pervert? Yeah, but then again, I'm imagining all senseis are closet perverts deep down inside. Now, right, Kakashi Sensei? To which Kakashi kind of was about to go reach for his book to read for a little bit. It's like, I have no idea what you're talking about, Naruto. But no, believe me, he's an elite Jonin. Frankly, he's a better teacher than I am. You're in good hands, Sakura. And Sakura's just like, is he really? I mean, is he really that good? Young lady, I have you know I'm one of the best teachers. To which Naruto does look. It's like, look, he might be a bit much, but I can at least vouch for him. From what I see for Konohamaru, he's pretty good at what he does. He's like, Ebisu even's like, see, even you can't deny my skill, Naruto. I said you're pretty good. I didn't say you were the best. Don't get a big ego. Closet perv. Anyway, Sakura, why don't if you're free this afternoon, we can begin right away. Begin right away and go over what we'll be dealing with in the month. So she goes off with Ebisu. Sasuke goes off with Kashi. Naruto goes basically to visit third. He goes in. He's like, hey, you in there, old man? Ah, Naruto, come in. Very well done to Lunars. Kiba gave you quite the run there for a little bit. Well, I mean, I didn't want to actually hurt him and knock him out too bad. I mean, if I wanted to, I probably could have taken him out pretty easy. But you didn't. You held back because he was your comrade. That's a very admirable trait. You could, and something very fitting of a possible tuning. I was like, I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely on my way. Anyway, Kakashi says he said you had someone available to train you. That's right. I have an old student of mine who's in the village, and he should be able to. And he'll be in here for about roughly a month's time, more than enough time to train you up. Really, where is he? Say, I'll bring him. Call him in now. Jiraiya, I know you're out there. Come in. Nothing. It's like Jiraiya, and Third's like, I told them to be here at this time, and he realizes like, give me one moment, Naruto. Jiraiya, and Naruto's meanwhile, I was like, Jiraiya, what do you mean like your old like Jiraiya the Sun? Jiraiya? Indeed, he's normally out of the village working on our spy network, but he comes in every few months to check in with me on details and information on important issues. And he also knew your biological father quite well, and it seems only fitting for him to train you. And he agreed to meet me here at this time. But knowing him, glazing into his crystal ball, sure enough, that perverted old, that perverted kid of or student of mine. And Naruto looks like that pervy pervy sage. Indeed. Uh, I'll send some Mambo to get to bring him here. To which Naruto's like, no, man, let me, because no, I imagine, despite the fact he did make the sexy jutsu, Naruto isn't, because we've even kind of, even though he did get a little pervier in Shippuden, and he's still a little pervy in Part 1, he actually doesn't like pervs that much. When you really think he doesn't like Ebisu that much, and even called him a closet pervy. He didn't like Jiraiya to begin with, and still doesn't like him for his pervy actions. He does have a thing against perverts to some degree. Oddly enough, him being a pervert, whatever. But he finds the hot spring, goes to Jiraiya, and Third just watching. What is he doing? Now Naruto's not stupid enough to go and transformed as his female form, but he does transform briefly, put on the voice, and just has a clone right behind Jiraiya, just and then Naruto pants Jiraiya and kicks his ass and is like, never fear, ladies, the guy in Jiraiya is here to woo all you lovely beauties and the ways of true manliness. And it's like, now come on, let's. And he realizes his pants is down because he got kicked and pantsed at the same time. And it's like, and I don't have the Timmy Turner dad scream up. I just sometimes will use that, but it's like that's the kind of scream I envision. It's like, then finally Naruto's standing over him. It's like, you're supposed to train me this month. It's like, who are you? What was that for? For being an old pervert. For being a little pervert. Hey, I'll have you know I'm not a little pervert. I'm a big one. I always love that. I always love, like, he had no shame. Jiraiya had no shame. Props, man. Own up to it, man. You gonna be a pervert? Own up to it. We're all pervs deep down. Even the repressed are pervs. In fact, the repressed are much bigger pervs than us. They just are repressing it. And then it comes out in the most horrible of ways. That's true. We're all pervs on some level. Just own up to it. Anywho, so Jiraiya's just like, it's like, anyway, the third basically tasked you with training. Like, hold on. Yeah, I talked to the third about it. I didn't agree to it fully, though. It's like, what do you mean you agreed to it fully? He said you'd train me. That's what he said. I was still apprehensive about it. I needed to meet you first. And tell you right now, so far, not impressed. You have no respect. You have no respect for a man doing research, trying to make a living in this world. It's like, okay, Naruto's finally like, come off it. Your third was your sensei, and it's like, I'm his grandson, and I'm his grandson. And, come on, he said you knew my dad too. You at least told me that much. Which Jiraiya was actually a little surprising. It's like, the old man actually spilled that. So did he tell you how I knew your old man? He told me, not exactly. In fact, not exactly. It's like, of course he wouldn't. All right, tell me, do you know who your old man even was? It's like, oh, no. Well, let's keep it that way for now. But yeah, I knew your old man, and he was one of the best shinobi I've ever seen. I failed to see. Besides, you look like him a bit, but I failed to see the resemblance in terms of skill. It's like, you want to bet? It's like, hold on. You don't need to prove how strong you are. Let's get out of this hot spring and somewhere else a bit more scenic. And so basically they go, and they're finally talking, and Naruto settled down. It's like, look, if you don't want to train me, that's fine. I'll figure something out. I mean, I don't know if I can beat Neji as I am now. He's seen pretty much everything I can do, and I'm sure he's going to be throwing out some new stuff. So I'm going to have to really figure out something new to bring to the table. If nothing else, I'm going to have to strategize. I'm sure the Saratobi library's got some stuff, and I'm sure the Shinobi library's got some stuff. Well, so really, you're just gonna throw away the towel right there from getting me to train you. Look, and Naruto actually just looks at him straight in the face, which is surprising. He's like, look, you either train me or you don't. You're gonna have to take it up with a third if you don't train me, because he told me you were gonna train me. Either way, I gotta get stronger this month. So so right now, yes or no, you gonna train me or not? Jiraiya is actually very surprised. Like, that was very matter of fact. And he's like, man, he's like the perfect blend of Minato and Kushina. It's like, all right, look. So, to be fair, I probably should have shown up and met you in person when the third asked me to, and I apologize for that. I do have some time here, so I might as well see what you can do. And so Naruto kind of shows what he can do. I was like, oh, so you inherited your dad's wind chakra. It's impressive. And you seem pretty good with those trench knives. I'm guessing Ozma taught you how to use those. Yeah, Uncle Ozma's awesome. Yeah, he's pretty good. Unfortunately, I can teach wind, but unfortunately, wind jutsu isn't my forte. That said, I think I know what we can focus on specifically. And he pulls out the scroll for Gamma, and it's like we're gonna be working on this, and we're gonna be working on something else. Like what? Something jutsu. Wow. I mean, I know the old man has the monkey contract. I always wanted to sign it, but the monkeys are pretty good too. But for my money, the toads are where it's at. You can learn a lot from them. Really, toads? Oh, like the toad the fourth summoned? It's like, yeah, that's right. And he sees Minato because he doesn't know Minato's his dad at this point. And if I said that earlier, please correct me, and I can just alter the scenario where he knows it's his dad's contract. But anyway, Minato's name's like, wait, that's the name of the fourth. Like, that's right. The fourth is all right, fine. Like, but there's a catch. We're also going to be learning to tap into that other source of chakra you have. Other source of chakra? You mean the fox? So there was right. You do know about the fox. Yeah, I know about the fox. So tell me, how well do you know about what do you know about the fox? How well can you utilize the power? No, really, it's kind of just on an unconscious base right now. I mean, it only really happens when in desperate separation, like when I thought Sasuke had died, or when Orochimaru had showed up. I see. Yeah, the third told me that he showed up as well. Well, we're going to be trying to get you to access the fox's chakra unconsciously, and through that, and by doing that, we're going to basically explains the whole. We're going to try using the summoning jutsu to bring out the fox's chakra. It's like, I mean, the fox. He's kind of. I've spoken to him a couple times. He's not the most friendly guy in the world. I mean, but if I can use his chakra, that might be. If I can use the chakra more freely, that definitely might be to my liking. But he hears a voice that, like I'd ever work with you, and he's suddenly kind of taken. It's like he doesn't. The fox almost never talks. Like, what the hell was that? It's like, what? Like, I heard the fox's voice all of a sudden. Is he communicating with you? I think he might have. It's like, unless your life is in danger, Brad, you're never getting my approval. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I mean, we're stuck together. We might as well try to work with each other. And all of a sudden, Naruto's like, kind of zones out, and Jiraiya's like, huh? And he's in the fox's, the mindset. Like, wait, why am I here? What is this? Like, welcome to your mindscape, a darkening sewer, a sewer that I am imprisoned in. Well, look, I mean, look, I'm sorry about that, but it's not like I had any control how this place looked. True, you didn't have any control, but it doesn't change that I'm still stuck in you, Ningen. I was like, look, all I'm saying is, like, I know you don't like me, and I really don't care for you that much right now, but I mean, do we have to hate each other? Like, we're stuck with each other for the time being. I mean, is there anything I can do to maybe change your mind? Can I maybe try to change this place up? Or anything like that? The fox looks and is like, you want to alter your mindscape? It's your mind, Brat. Brat, you could try to alter it, but it would just go back to the same dung heap that has always been. No, it's that damn seal. And to be fair, we don't really know why Naruto's mindscape is like that. It's like, wait, it's like, so you're saying, so if I could change this up, and I'm up, it could make you in staying in my mind a bit easier to deal with. And the fox is looking, he's like, I'm not answering that, Brett. It's like, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Like, so I'll see if I can work on it. So, and he's just looking at this. He's like, what do you know about the seal? You know nothing of seals, boy. And it's like, yeah, I don't really know anything really about it. Maybe Jiraiya does. I'll ask him. If I can change this place up, can we maybe just talk about working on with the chakra and stuff? It's like, and Fox is actually looking at him. It's like, Naruto's just looking at him, like just asking a question, like legitimately. He's not trying to be hostile. He's just trying to like get a working relationship going. Just if you can alter the seal to make me to make my if you can alter the seal to make me more comfortable, I suppose we can discuss something. But that's assuming you can. Say, all right, sweet. Well, then I'll be back as soon as possible. Like, and the fox just looking like, is this kid serious? And Dry's like, hello. And it's like, what? It's like, you zoned out there, kid. What's going on? I'm sorry. I was having a conversation with the fox. Huh. Interesting. So you can have a conversation with him. Yeah, he's actually. I mean, he's pretty grouchy and grumpy. Well, I'd probably be too if I was sealed at someone. But and so I was like, yeah, but I think I might have figured out a way to actually access his chakra naturally. Really? What was it? Well, I mean, the seal seems to create an uncomfortable cage. He explains the scenario. It's like, I mean, is there any way that we can like alter the seal? It's like altering the seal's dangerous, Naruto. One false step, and it could release the fox entirely. The fox is like, either way, I win. So by all means. And Naruto's like, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, look, I want to be able to, access the chakra like you said, but I also don't. I said if I'm going to be stuck in the fox, we might as well try to get along. Because remember, while Naruto is always going to be Naruto in every one of these versions, he also is. He's also changes depending on how his environment has raised him. And being raised with the Sarutobi's, I'm sure he's a bit more level-headed and a bit more reasonable. But he's like, I'm not talking about altering the seal so I can access his chakra. I'm actually talking about altering the seal so his containment in the mindscape changes up. And Jiraiya's thinking about that. I was like, it might take adding an extra seal to it, but it's not impossible. But that would require you. So do you know anything about seals? It's like Jiraiya says, like, kid, you're looking at probably the best seal master in the world. Except maybe your dad. Except maybe the fourth. Or best seal master still alive today. The fourth might have surpassed me, but as it stands, no one knows more about seals than me. Sweet. So can you teach me seals? To which Jiraiya's like, actually surprised by this, thinking he just wanted him to work on a seal for that. I was like, you want to learn about seals, really, kid? I was like, yeah. I mean, if it will help me kind of work with the fox a bit, sure. And Jiraiya's like, that's the Uzumaki in them, because we know they were seal masters in their time. So it's like, very sure, why not? We'll add some seal training on there as well. Of course, it's gonna take quite a bit of studying, but tell me, from what the old man says, you have a technique that'll help speed that process up quickly. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, and boom, because he knew about the shadow clone technique in this case, about what it's really capable of. So Dry gives him a couple books to read. So meanwhile, since we're going to be working on that to help get the fox to agree with us, we'll actually bypass the whole working on the fox ray. Instead, just work on the summoning jutsu for now. And so that is Naruto's training regimen for the month. Seals, and eventually working out the foxes. Working out the arrangement with the fox and working on the summoning. Now, the thing is, Jiraiya's method of trying to get Naruto to access the fox chakra was not a good method. Let's be honest, because we see that Naruto on his own was able to summon Gamakichi on his own. Actually, that's not true. He summoned Gamatatsu, but that's probably because Gamakichi was already summoned. But he still summoned Gamatatsu on his own. With his own chakra, he is capable of summoning a full-grown frog or full-grown toad. I'd imagine, too, that in this version, because his chakra control is a lot better, he is able to be a bit more effective. So about half his chakra he tries out with, he is actually able to summon Gamakichi. Afterwards, he basically, it rests up a bit, and then is able to actually, I think with his full chakra capacity, he'd be able to summon Gamma. The problem is it almost drains him dry, so he pretty much has nothing left. That's where the fox's chakra could come in. So he's actually practicing, also working on chakra reserves, which you would think he doesn't need to do, but for the summoning jutsu, apparently he does. Meanwhile, he's also finally gotten the basic of sealing down, and Jiraiya's even like, he's taking this like a fish to water. My God. It's like, and so Naruto's working on seals, all that. Jiraiya's actually showing him the seal that he's pretty much designed to help with the fox's situation in his mind's escape. Because Naruto in his mindscape would basically be adding the seal to the one in his head, and then that seal would appear on his stomach. But Naruto's also like, not only does he have stealing scrolls and explosive tags down, like no problem whatsoever. He's also learning quite a bit about other seals. Now he's not an immediate seal master like Jiraiya is or anything like that, but he's learned quite a few seals, and I've actually got a cool concept in mind for how we're going to see him implement the seals, because he's seeing a lot in terms of the seals. Like, cool, it's like, so this seal will be able to keep, like, make my jacket heat resistant and cold resistant as well. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, the seals can do pretty much anything, as long as you know the right way to make them. So he automatically adds that to his coat, all jacket, all that. He even has an idea for Jiraiya about gloves. It's like, so maybe if I add these seal, I can add these gloves on my seal, on both seals on my gloves at the same time, and have different effects on it. And Jiraiya's like, all I gotta do is basically pump a little bit of chakra into them. And Jiraiya's like, that's actually pretty clever. I can imagine he also have seals on his hands, but I imagine he keep them on the gloves for right now. Plus, he can do the storage seals like Sasuke does. So I think that one is definitely something he does. Basically, getting these tattoo seals that I think Jiraiya would actually do personally. Basically, because tattoo, I imagine that tattoo seals, like we know that Sasuke has, work differently than seeing an actual tattoo. I think it's more that it's like you kind of just imprint the seal on the body. So Naruto's using it for storing kunai and stuff like that. But finally, we get to like near the end. We're now like in the last week, and Naruto is like, "All right, we got it." And he goes back into his mindscape, having learned to meditate a little bit on. There's like, "So you've come back. So did you? So what will it be?" It's like, "Well, obviously, I'm not letting you out, but I think I figured out a way to address this a little bit." And Fox is dubious. It's like, really? Really? It's like, yeah, really. Naruto just kind of floats up and just like, all right, so, and he remembers the seal Jiraiya showed him. Just does the Market's like, and he focuses, and the water begins to recede, and the fox is actually surprised, and his containment actually begins to expand, and actually starts to light up a bit, like not like bright daylight, but like a nicely lit with torches room. And it's more like a dojo with like some furniture, some things for the fox to actually lie on, and it's very large. Like, and the fox is just looking around. He's actually just surprised. Just, really? It's like, really? And he's just walking around. He's got really stretching out a bit more, and he's like, and the fox just looking at us like, see, told you. I never go back on my word. It's like, or I can see the fox like, you kept your word. And the fox saying this just actually surprised. Like, he kept his words. Like, of course, I never go back on my word. That's my ninja way. And Naruto just gives him a smile, and just like, yeah, and just the fox can actually just see the determination in the genuine kindness in Naruto's face and voice, and he's just legitimately like, and all of a sudden Naruto, all of a sudden a vet actually appears outside the cage. Like, you kept your end of the bargain. I'll keep mine. Whenever you need to access some of my chakra, go into your mind, reach out for it, and you will find it. Note, you barely can take any of my power, Brat, but it's nearly a fraction of a fraction. But for you humans, it should be more than enough. And he just kind of grumbles like, "Are you okay?" It's like, our deal is done. You kept your word, I kept mine. Did you not expect a thank you, Brett? And Naruto's like, hey, you kept your deal, I kept mine. Or say, I kept my end, my end of the deal, you kept your end of the deal. That's all that matters. If we could just kind of work like that from here on out, I don't see. We can get along just fine. As I can see us maybe one day we can be friends. And say, you what? And say, friends, and then Naruto just disappears. Bye. And Naruto, the fox like, and just kind of just grumbles, but he does kind of give like a cheeky like grin. Like, he's a crazy one. He just kind of laughs. He's different. And then Naruto's like, I think we're good to go. So really, all right, then try accessing the fox's chakra. And he just kind of looks into his mind, and he mentally reaches out for this red orb of chakra. And sure enough, he reaches out, and it's like, whoa! It's like, all right, try summoning something now. It's like summoning jutsu, and sure enough, Jiraiya, what's going on? It's like, oh crap! I didn't think you'd summon Bunta of all people. He's like, Jiraiya, why did you summon me here? Actually, I'm the one who summoned you. Huh? Who are you? Why are you on my head? Well, actually, I'm the one who summoned you. You're joking me. A brat like you couldn't summon the mighty Lord Gamabunta. It's like, actually, it's true, kid. Chief Toad, read it and weep. It's like, are you kidding me? Hey, you let a brat sign the contract, Jiraiya. It's like, hey, I'm not a brat. I'm Naruto Sarutobi Uzumaki Sarutobi. Oh, Uzumaki and a Sarutobi. How good for you. But do you really think you're worthy of being my summoner? Yeah, absolutely, I'm worthy of being your summoner. It's like, fine, let's test it out. You can make them to the eve dusk on my head. You win. I'll admit you're my summoner. Um, I'll accept you as my summoner. Fine, you're not going to turn up to Guinta shaking him or shaking him around. Now, luckily, Naruto does have a little excess chakra in him, but he's shaking him around. He's almost flying off, and then Naruto throws out a new one of the seals he learned, magnet seal, boom, and now he's just clinging on. Now, the way a magnet seal, because seals can pretty much be and do anything you want them to be. We actually don't see a huge amount of seals. We've seen a barrier seal. We've seen the seal on the Jinchurikis. There are seals that are like the hideout. There's like the five prongs. But seals, in theory, can do anything. It's just a matter of how you do like the seal matrix and what your imagination can allow you to do. What this seal I basically decided does, it's basically like tree walking or clinging to solid objects with your chakra, except all you gotta do is focus chakra into the seal, and then it basically just sticks, and you don't have to continually use chakra to adhere to the surface. Now the catch is you can't move like you walk on water or on a tree or a vertical surface, vertical surface. You're basically stationary. So if you were to use the magnet seal while you're upside down in the tree, you can't just suddenly walk off it. You'd have to undo the seal with another burst of chakra. But in essence, he's Naruto's kind of stuck on it, but he's still getting ragdolled. But ultimately, he actually does make it, and nearly is like, well, I'll beat you. It's like, no. And it's like, oh, crap. It's like, I got him. And Naruto's like, it's like, well done, brat. I must say I am impressed. You held up you made it till dawn. I recognize you as my summoner. Although we'll have to seal the deal later on with a sip of sake. It's like, I'm not old enough to drink sake. You're a ninja brat. You're old enough to kill. You're old enough to die. You're old enough to screw. You're old enough to drink. Then on the screw part, Naruto's kind of blushing a little bit. And besides, you're Sarutobi. If I recall, the third is still Hokage in this village. Ask him for permission if you need it. But anyway, and then he poofs out and tries like, well, I must say you did a lot better than I thought you would against Bunta. Wait, you knew I'd summon him? Well, with the amount of chakra you'd used, it was probably going to be, it was near a guarantee. It's kind of a rite of passage for all Toad sages, Toad summoners. Why don't we get you to a hospital for a clear checkup before we send you anyway? Sure. Hey, I got some ideas, by the way, for some storage for seals on different seals in different places. Oh, really? And this is where the glove idea comes in. But anyway, that is where we are leaving off part 8. Join us again in part 9, where we'll see a little bit of what Sakura was doing. But mostly we'll be focusing on the actual tuning exams themselves. So until then, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know we'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll catch you folks later. Have a good one.